Hey, all, what's up? I just finished the feedback for Module 3 Reciprocity, and I wanted to say that pretty good job. Reciprocity is one of the most powerful persuasion principles out there, and it's also one of the most commonly used that we see all the time. But let's just boil it down and touch on it for a minute. Reciprocity only works because us humans, we hate that feeling of indebtedness, that little knot in your stomach, right? That's the gut check I had written to a lot of you. Do that gut check. If you're not feeling that gut in your gut, the feeling that you have to pay something back, well, then you probably are not talking about reciprocity and you're talking about something else. Why do we feel this way? Well, evolutionary speaking, humans for most of our uh, civilization, we've lived in small little groups or tribes. And if another person or a group had given us a fish, because we're hungry, we wanted a fish, right? And we never reciprocated. What would happen is they would stop, and so then that help would never come again. And so it became a very natural thing. It became hardwired over many millennia. That became the norm. Social debt equals bad, right? And returning the favor equals keeping your crew alive. So remember, if you don't feel that knot, that indebtedness, that obligation, that you don't want to be indebted to someone, then it's probably not reciprocity. Hey, all right, let's touch on some common mistakes. So, several of you had mentioned free trials for like a streaming service. So, let's go back to that gut check I said. Do you think when you sign up for whatever 7 days for Disney Plus, that you really feel that feel in your gut that you owe them something, right? There's a sense of indebtedness, something you want to balance the scales. No, probably not, right? So that's really touching on something else that's pretty cool called loss aversion. And so what happens is once we do the free trial and we're in there, we watch two or three things that we may like. The thought of losing that, the thought of losing access to that is greater. Our feeling of loss is a more powerful motivator than our feeling of gain. So if you have to spend the money to avoid that loss of that thing that you just signed up for, that's really what that is. That is not reciprocity, because normally we don't have that feeling of indebtedness to signing up for a free trial. Others lean too much into liking, compliments, and friendliness instead of reciprocity. It's important to note that when you want to be persuasive, you mix a bunch of them and it's much more impactful and influential. But nice customer service, it isn't a gift. It's just service that hopefully, kicks off some liking. The other thing that I touched on is that being friendly is not actual indebtedness. Just because somebody's friendly to you, you don't feel like you owe them, anything. And so I also wanted to point out that there was a lot that were way off, like completely not even touching our reciprocity. And so I called you out for it. But it was a bit concerning because it was indicative that you didn't watch any videos or read any of the slides or the book. All right. So as you move forward, keep asking yourself when it comes to reciprocity, was there an uninvited gift that make you felt like you owed them something? Because that's reciprocity. If not, it's probably some other principle at work. Please do the reading. If you check out our book, it's actually an easy read, fun book because it's made up with all these stories. And then the slides kind of give you some additional stories and encapsulate some of the stuff in the book. So have at it. And remember, keep an eye out for reciprocity.